I'm Bill Dowd, founder, president, and CEO of Skedaddle Humane Wildlife Control, Canada's largest wildlife control company. A little bit about myself. I started this business in 1989, so over 31 years ago. So we have dealt with tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of squirrels. Day in, day out, squirrels, raccoons are kind of the two staple animals we deal with 12 months of the year. Prior to getting into this business, I was a ex-professional hockey player. I played major junior A hockey in Ottawa for the Ottawa 67s. I was then drafted by the New York Islanders when they're in the process of winning 4 Stanley Cups in a row. Played a few years in the Islanders system, and then went back to school. I was going to be a school teacher, a phys ed teacher. Went to Brock University, also played varsity hockey there. And when I completed my schooling, I didn't get into teachers college, and I kind of fell into this line of work where it's very fun, enjoyable. You're dealing with different animals, different homeowners, different circumstances, a real fun and exciting job. So as I said, we've grown this now to be the biggest in Canada. We're in 3 provinces, Nova Scotia, Quebec, and Ontario. And through franchising, we also have 2 franchises in the States as well, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Houston, Texas. The passion for this business is immense. I love squirrels, the humane, ethical treatment of animals, whether it's squirrels, mice, raccoons, birds. I think nowadays society really want to see animals treated in a humane, ethical manner, and that's something that we've always done here at Skedaddle. We've pioneered a number of methods. When most people have a problem with squirrels, they think, come out, set a trap the animal, take it away. Well, a lot of times that leaves babies to die in the attic, a cruel, terrible death. So what we do is we focus on a hands-on removal where we climb into the attic space, physically chase or force the squirrels out. We'll pick up the baby animals, the baby squirrels. We'll reunite them with the mother on the outside. And especially with squirrels, you can put those babies on the roof, stand back 2 or 3 feet, and the mother squirrel will come running back and forth, pick up those babies one by one, put them in her mouth. She kind of picks them up by the hind leg. They wrap themselves more or less around her neck, and she can run off and actually jump from one job site to another with those babies. Squirrels can't count, so the mother always comes back and sees if there's one last one. So keeping those family unit together is very humane, and it's a great feeling when you sit there, you've taken her out of that den site, you've taken those babies out, and then you reunite them on the outside with that mother. Homeowners love it. They love sitting back and watching and seeing that squirrel come and go. A lot of times they'll say, well, aren't those squirrels going to get in my neighbors? Our response is they probably already are. All urban wildlife have 7 to 10 den sites in a neighborhood. And when we take those squirrels out, we'll put them on the roof. And I said, it's not like the mother squirrel runs across the street, puts the baby down and chews a new hole into that roof space. She's already got an existing hole there. That's just how they survive in an urban environment, multitude of den sites. So a real passion for the humaneness of the animals, keeping these families together. We don't trap and relocate. That's something that is very inhumane. 70% of relocated animals die. So we're focusing on keeping those family units together. Most homeowners think with a wildlife company, come out, set a trap, out of sight, out of mind. But that's just not a very humane method. So we don't do that. We focus on the animal proofing of the structure. Also, I have a real passion for giving back to the community. In all the areas we service, we're part of the community, helping out local charities and causes that we believe in. So just some of the passions I have, and a little bit about myself. My relationship with squirrels, I guess you can say I love them. They're an animal that never fail to entertain, intrigue, or give me a run for my money. Obviously, being in the wildlife control business, squirrels make us money. So, I love them. They have allowed me to grow my business to over 65 service trucks on the road, over 75 employees. So they make a living for a lot of people, and they're here to stay. You're never going to get rid of squirrels in an urban environment. Typically, in a square kilometer, research has shown there's anywhere from 15 to 50 raccoons. Well, I don't know if there's been any studies on squirrels, but there's definitely more squirrels. Go to any city, any park, any neighborhood, you're going to see squirrels running around. So they are here to stay. We're never going to get rid of them, and homeowners need to understand that, to harmonize and live with these animals. And the best way to do that is to make certain your home is animal proofed. Squirrels never cease to amaze me. They're opportunistic. You give them a little inch or an opening the size of a dime, those squirrels are going to get their teeth in there, chew and expand that hole until it's about the size of a baseball. And then once they do that, they're in and out, running all around. They're like a beaver. They're part of the rodent family, which means their teeth are always growing. So just out of sheer recreation or fun, they're going to be chewing and gnawing on people's homes. So that's something where, we need to educate the homeowners to realize how destructive they are, how to live in harmony with them by animal proofing or squirrel proofing their home. And the trapping and relocating of that animal is not the solution. We like to equate it to, if it's raining out and you have a hole in your roof. You're not going to go out and do a rain dance and stop the rain. You're going to put something over that hole to stop the rain from coming in. Same thing with wildlife intrusions or squirrel entry points. You can't just trap them and take it away because another one will take their place. Putting up some type of physical barrier to stop them from getting back into that structure is the only long-term solution, and something that homeowners should be aware of. So that's, squirrels are these cute, adorable animals that I love, that give me a job and a lifestyle. And, they're here to stay. So as a homeowner, let's live in harmony. When we go to a home to do a squirrel job, there's two types of clients. There's the clients that absolutely love and adore squirrels and are actually upset and worried about, are they going to survive? How are we going to deal with the mother? Are the babies going to be okay? So there's the real squirrel lovers out there. And then there's the people that say they're just nothing but a rat with a big furry tail. So it's one or the other. They either love them or they hate them. But there's a number of species we deal with, and each have their different characteristics and determination to get back into attics once we get them out or into chimneys. So you have the black squirrel and the gray squirrel, which some people think are two different species, but they're actually the same, similar to how some of us have blonde hair and some have black hair. So that's the eastern gray squirrel, so they could be gray or black. You have the American red squirrel, and these are these little tiny red ones that are the most tenacious, determined to get back into a structure. They're the squirrels, or all species we deal with, that is the most difficult to deal with, is the American red squirrel. Not too many of them in Ontario and Quebec and Nova Scotia, so they're not as well known, but they are out there. They're fast as lightning and very, very aggressive. We have flying squirrels. We've done a number of jobs with flying squirrels. In fact, just the other month, we had our first baby flying squirrel job where we actually had the babies in our hand. And how cute were they, climbing up and down walls and what have you. So there's flying squirrels as well. We've done jobs with albino squirrels. In fact, there's a park in St. Catharines that has 5, 6, 7 albino, basically blonde squirrels. So it's very interesting to see those, but we do see those in attics on occasion as well. So those are the main squirrels we're dealing with. There's also chipmunks. A lot of homeowners will say, no, it's a squirrel, it's a squirrel, it's a squirrel. But then you say, well, they think it's a red squirrel. Okay, is it red? Well, yeah, it is. And okay, does it have the stripes on its back, the two white stripes and a black stripe? And yeah, okay, well, that's a chipmunk. Totally different from a squirrel, but most homeowners kind of lump those all in together and say that's a squirrel as well. During this COVID-19 pandemic, our relationships with squirrels is definitely increasing. We've had a 17% increase in business during this pandemic as more and more people are home during the daytime, and this is when squirrels are active. So being home day in, day out, staying safe during this pandemic, people are hearing more noises because they're home all day long. This is when squirrels are active. Baby squirrels now are just kind of getting their sea legs, so to speak, becoming teenagers. So they're running all around the roof, inside the attic. So instead of homeowners having, one single female in there, there's 6 or 7 babies, so they have 7, 8 squirrels running around their entire attic space, making lots of noise. So homeowners are getting very antsy calling us, and we're getting out there as quick as possible to take care of their situation. People sometimes ask us, can I keep the babies as pets? No, that's not humane for the animals. Baby animals, baby squirrels need to be with their mother. That's the best for them to be raised and to survive. And in the same token, this time of year is when young squirrels might fall out of a nest or get separated from the mother. Homeowners definitely shouldn't be picking those animals up and taking them to rehab facilities or SPCAs or humane societies, just because the best possibility for survival of that animal is with the mother. And if it's fallen out of a tree or lost from the mother is close by. They're very, very maternalistic, mother squirrels. So maternalistic that you could be coming out of an attic or climbing down a ladder with a bunch of babies in your hands. Those babies will start crying. And I've actually had the mother squirrel come from 5 houses down, make a beeline to me, come running up my leg to attack to get those babies. So obviously, need to be very cautious and careful when dealing with squirrels. But once again, if there's any orphans you find or homeowners find in a neighborhood, leave them be. The mother's close by. Those babies will start crying or whimpering, and the mom will be by to survive. Pick them up and raise them within these urban centers. Squirrels can create tremendous damage to a building. I'm still amazed how some homeowners will live with squirrels in their attics for months, if not years, before they take action. And then we'll go in and just be astounded by the amount of damage to that property. So homeowners, you definitely don't want to be living with squirrels in your attic space. They'll trample your insulation down, causing your utility bills to be higher in summer and winter. Chew electrical wiring. They love the electrical wiring. In fact, we've been in attics where we see a dead squirrel with his teeth right on the electrical wiring in the attic. So if they're chewing electrical wiring because they have to chew for recreation and fun, it's definitely a fire hazard. And there has been documented cases where there's been fires and $100,000s of damage due to squirrels chewing electrical wiring. They urinate, they defecate in the attic, they carry ticks and fleas. So once again, it's always best to get these squirrels out of your attic or out of your chimney. We've had squirrels that nest in cars. One particular case was a BMW. Homeowner bought a brand new BMW, took it home, parked it in the garage, went away for vacation. Little did they know that squirrels were in the attic, and then from there getting into the attached garage. They went and built a nest right in the middle of the brand new BMW in the engine. Homeowner came home from vacation, car didn't start, called the dealership, what's going on, my brand new BMW. Car was towed back to the dealership. The mechanics opened up the car and panicked and obviously called us, and we went out and removed the babies and the adult squirrel. A story 25 years ago, a homeowner had a squirrel come down a chimney, was running around an unfinished basement. So elderly gentleman went down and was firing a gun around. Not a wise thing to do, because unfortunately a bullet ricocheted off one of the cement walls, came back, hit him in the eye, and he lost his eye. So definitely always call a professional when you're dealing with squirrels in a structure. A couple other unique stories with homeowners. We went to a job site. Homeowner took us upstairs to show us what he was doing and show us where the attic space was. We looked up and the ceiling was riddled with holes. And he said, oh no, I was just taking my gun and trying to shoot. Hopefully he was gonna, like trying to shoot a needle in a haystack, get one of the squirrels. And he was also spraying cheap cologne and perfume through all these holes up in the attic, trying to use that odor to make them run away. I don't know. Anyhow, they survived. Probably the best smelling squirrels there ever was, but they did survive. Homeowners will a lot of times take these unique and different scenarios. They love living in our homes. Our homes provide shelter for them, security, safety, and when they're in that attic space, they'll nest. And nests can be, large balls of almost like large basketballs in the attic space of insulation, paper, you name it, they'll make their nests. In nature, in your backyard, a lot of times you'll see that in the fall. You'll see that big nest of leaves up in a tree, and that's typically a squirrel nest. But they'll make the same nest and bring all that material into an attic space as well. They get on roofs. Homeowners will say, "Well, how's the squirrel get on my roof? I don't have any trees close by." Or if they have trees close by, will go out and they've cut down all the trees. Why did you cut the trees down? Oh, to keep squirrels off my roof. Every animal will find a way to get onto a roof. There's no way to stop squirrels from getting onto a roof. In fact, squirrels can even climb brick. They'll just scale right up the brick wall, get right onto the roof. So it is virtually impossible to keep these creative, acrobatic creatures off of your roof. Don't cut down trees. Squirrels have 2 litters a year in the spring season, and then later on in the summer going into fall. So we have 2 birthing seasons with squirrels. The gestation period for squirrels is 45 days. They typically have 4, 5, 6 young. When they're newborns, we call them pinkies because they're hairless, little pink creatures, adorable. And then as they grow, typically 4 to 6 weeks, they start getting their fur, start getting their legs, their eyes open after 3 weeks. So typically then mother starts showing them to the entry point, how to get out, how to climb down the roof. So a real learning process. So once again, how these animals are flourishing in our urban centers, and the creativity and the educating that mother does to raise them in this urban setting truly still fascinates me to this day. But definitely have a squirrel problem, don't hesitate, call in professional help. You don't want to be in that attic space crawling on your hands and knees or crouching over and walking on a 2x4, and one wrong step down through the insulation and through the drywall into a bedroom. You don't want to be doing that. Don't risk your health as a homeowner. Call in the professionals. Let's talk some fun jobs with squirrels. We've had so many. Just a few examples. We were called out once to a bowling alley where the bowling alley had to close down. It was on a Saturday afternoon, kids' parties and everything. So the entire birthday parties were out front. We had to go in because there was 6 young squirrels. Finally grew up. They were nesting in behind where all the pins are, and they were running all over the bowling alley. So a fun job. We run around after them, have large nets, capture them, get them up all out as a family, and reunite them with the mother on the outside. There was an IT company who had a large server room, and a squirrel came in down through a fireplace, got into the building, and had chewed all the cables going into their server. So obviously, IT company was dead in the water, so to speak, because squirrels had chewed all their Ethernet cables and cables going into their server. So once again, that's something where people call, they're in a panic, they either love or hate squirrels. Obviously, those 2 business owners weren't big squirrel fans. We've had squirrels that come down when people are away on vacation. Once again, they'll come down a chimney. They fall down. They can't go back up. They're not like an airplane where a helicopter where they can hover and rise back up the chimney. So they'll open the damper, or if the damper's already open, they'll come out the fireplace and start running around inside the house. Homeowner was away on vacation, came back home after I think 2 weeks. They had some nuts and whatnot in dishes that were totally eaten, and the peanut shells all over the floor. Squirrels are attracted to the light that's coming in through a window, so they chew all the way around the windowsill. So totally decimated every single window in the house. And sure enough, after that peanut source was gone, and the water out of the toilets that it was drinking had all disappeared, the homeowner unfortunately found the squirrel dead in the middle of the room. Same thing, squirrels come in through these chimneys and get into a bathroom. Homeowner runs out, closes the door. So going in a small, tiny bathroom and squirrel bouncing all everywhere. They're quick as lightning, bounce off you, jump into the tub, slip and slide, get a net, take it outside, release it. We've had homeowners that call us and think they have a squirrel. And, I'm hearing chirping. There's a squirrel in here somewhere. So we'll go out and investigate, look under couches and look all over the place. Couldn't find anything. Finally, we heard the chirp. Sure enough, you look up and it's the smoke detector was beeping because the batteries were low. So, one of those things where people have panicked and assume they have a squirrel in their house, but it was time to change the batteries in the smoke detector. We've never had the Chevy Chase experience, Christmas vacation, where they look at the tree and a squirrel comes flying out. But I'm sure that's coming after all these years in business. So always a fun story with squirrels. To summarize, we love them. Homeowners either love them or hate them, rat with a tail, a bushy tail, or are so concerned and want their safety. But here at Skedaddle, we really enjoy dealing with them. They sometimes give us a real run for our money, but eventually we will prevail. We will humanely get them out, keep family units together, animal-proof the home, and give homeowners a lifetime guarantee. Never a dull day at Skedaddle, especially when you're dealing with squirrels.